Hello, everybody. Cam K here for the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. We are back here on location in McGregor, Ontario, with our friends at Hryniuk-Hall Motorsports. We're going to take a little tour of their race shop so you guys can take a look and see where they put everything together for the Ontario Sportsman Series team. And we'll see a little bit of a difference between what their shop is like compared to what we saw at 22 Racing with the NASCAR Pinty Series team. So stay tuned. We'll have some amazing footage for you. This episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast has been presented by the Helloa Financial Group. Paul Helloa and his team can help you out with your insurance and investment needs. Or if you are a company that is looking for a benefits package, Paul Helloa can help you out. Check out all of their services that they provide at helloafinancial.com. All right, so we're back here with co-owner Mark Hall. Hryniuk-Hall Motorsports. We're excited to finally be at your shop. Let's first talk about the team and how long you guys have been around, and we'll talk about kind of what series you've run in.
Well, originally me and Mike paired up 5 years ago, and his son Michael Jr. started driving the car, and we did that for the first 2 years. Won Rookie of the Year first season in the OSS, and then since then we've expanded. We added a second car, which Kevin Lave drove for us last season. And we also had a couple of drivers. Michael Sr. actually got back in the car last year. And we also brought Todd Shepard on board last year. And so it gave us a three-car team, and then we had Corey Whitnam running in the TQ midgets too. So we brought him on board, and we provided him with tech support and, all kinds of support. And Corey really stepped his game up last year and had 3 feature wins. So this year, going into the off-season, Sean Mangin approached us about coming back from CASCAR. And, he's been retired for over 20 years, and he wanted to get back in the game. So we got another car now, and Sean's going to be wheeling that this year. So busy.
It's great to see because obviously in Canadian motorsports, it is hard to have one team, let alone multiple. Having last year as kind of a time to gain additional cars, you guys did get a feature win as well in the OSS with Todd. Let's talk about kind of goals for this year, because you guys have obviously your full stack. Sean's coming back. Michael's got this brand new beautiful 15 looking his Camaro, which is nice to see on the car that you guys updated to a Camaro. What's the goal for this year, Mark?
We'd love to win every race. That'd be a great goal, right? Bring home the championship trophy and put it right up there but we'll see how it goes. We got a strong team. We got a good base. We got great sponsors across all the cars. And it should be a really good year for us. We're really hoping to take that next step. The one feature win last year with Todd was great. Let's make the next step now. Let's get Michael in victory lane. Let's get Sean, up front, and let's get some more wins for Todd. And let's get Kevin up front too, and we'll see how it goes.
You potentially have 4 guys that can all battle for the championship this year in the Ontario Sportsman Series, and it's a series that we're both connected with, and obviously we want to see have a lot of success. We're going to just point. I'm going to ask if Al can zoom in here a little bit, walking a little bit close to our brand new logo that's going to be on these race cars. Absolutely beautiful. Let's talk about this new kind of rebranding and who put that together for us.
Well, Colnet Signs designed a new logo for us, and Shelby Signs and Graphics are doing all the graphics for us, so they'll be providing that stuff. It's been a lot of work in the off season. We took over late in the game, took over the series from Jim Bray, and brought a team on board, and now we got a lot of guys doing different things. Social media, we've been trying to hit we've brought in a ton of sponsors. There's going to be a lot of contingency decals on these cars this year. We've really brought in a lot of good companies that can really, really solidify what's going on with the series.
Yeah, it's excellent, and again, because contingency sponsors, there is what helps a series stay around. They're the ones that help with payouts, the ones that help bring some attention to the series, and they do certain things, like you said, providing the decals here or providing the logos. You also have some great partners that are joining your team this year. We're going to talk about your main sponsor here on the 15 because she's been so involved since she come around. She seems so excited as well. So let's talk about Allison Martel.
Allison Martel's a local realtor here in the Windsor area. So if you're selling a home, to talk to Allison from Royal LePage Binder Real Estate. Allison's been a great find. Very enthusiastic race fan, which is, you really want on your sponsors. You'll see her at most of our races this year, I believe. And it's been a great find. It's a great fit for both of us. It's really the exposure she's been getting from us. She's really enjoying, and the enthusiasm out of her has been fantastic. So
it's what you want, right? And you have a couple of different other sponsors here. We're going to go around to the back of the car, actually, because the back of the car has, I guess, if not one of the most recognizable companies that we see in motorsports right now, because Quick Fire Starter is back on your car this year. Let's just talk about those guys.
Quick's been fantastic. They come on board and they got a great product. Truly, when we started with them, I'm like, these things work? Yeah, they work. They're awesome. Can't light a fire without them now. I don't even remember how else to do it. And it's easy. They've been great, coming on board. And everything they've done for Canadian motorsports, from their Pinty sponsorship right down to the grassroots level, some of their track stuff, it's really been a good fit for us.
Yeah, and you guys have a lot of other partners that are back. You've got your Ken LePain and Sons, which we've seen on your car for several years. Landshark Lager, which is one of our favorites. You got right up here, actually, we've got this really cool surfboard with a chunk taken out of it, just like a shark bite. Gotta love that. Guaranteed Comfort, Reinhardt Auctions. And actually what you can see, Reinhardt Auctions is actually one of those companies that you mentioned as a contingency sponsor for this series. So not only are they helping out the race team, but they're also helping out the series, which is so cool to see. Let's talk about some of these other sponsors you have on the side of the car.
LePans, as you mentioned, they've been with us for 5 years now. They're one of our original sponsors that helped get the whole program off the ground. They heavy truck repair. They do an awesome job. You need anything painted, sandblasting, they're definitely the company to go to. Great partners with us. Landshark, of course, we all enjoy a few of those after the races, and the fridge right over there is definitely stocked with them at all times, in case you need one after work on the car for a while. Guaranteed Comfort come on board last year, heating and cooling. They great local company. You need a furnace fixed, you need air conditioning fixed, they're the guys to call. We've had them out here a few years after we had a bird incident with our heater we won't talk about. Reinhardt Auctions, they've been with us since day one. They great. Reinhardt's a great supporter of racing in Ontario. There's various other drivers they support and stuff too, and they're supporting the OSS as a contingency sponsor this year. So that's great. Action Trailers, another one that's been around motorsports in Ontario for a long time. Great sponsor of ours. Need a trailer, go see them. Essex Weld, they've been with us for 5 years now. Another one of our 5-year sponsors. Essex Weld, they've been a great sponsor. Colnett Signs does all our graphics for our car, our pit box, our trailer that's soon to be done. Colnett Signs has been awesome. They've been with us since day one too. Boyd Automotive, they get our truck on the road every year, and Boyd Automotive has been great. They, our trucks get a little long in the tooth, but he keeps it running every year, so that's good. Hazard Play, they do a lot of our apparel for us and stuff, and etching on glasses, custom Yetis, you name it, they can do it. All kinds of custom stuff, whatever you want, they'll put on and stuff. Active Industrial Fluids have been providing this. They're another one of our 5-year sponsors. They've been in since day one. Right here in Windsor, custom industrial blending, Ames Oil Distributor provide us with most of our oils and stuff that go in the car. And then Timeline Painting came back on board last year. They used to be on Mike's late model back in the day.
Wow.
And that's Dean DeGraw out of London. And Dean stepped up and he's really helped us out. So this is some of our sponsors. And another one, we got Backdraft Hot Sauce out of Toronto. Just came back on board. We just announced the other day. They've been with us now for 3-4 years. And who doesn't like hot sauce on their wings? So
there you go.
Perfect.
You got your lager. We're on by the fire, and then you put some hot sauce on your burgers and your hot dogs.
And then we got DuraView windows and doors that are also on the back
right
of
on
the
the
car.
back here.
Yep,
Right?
yep. Durview stepped up this year too, and taking a little bit bigger role in the car. And Chad Cotto, you need windows and doors for your house. Chad's the guy to call down here in this area, so it's good. And we got a couple more pending too. Still, I'd like to announce, but I can't quite say anything yet. So we'll see how those work out.
It's funny because now anybody that's behind Michael will know who they need to go to, because Durview's right here on the tail. Well, we are back here at Hryniuk-Hall Motorsports with the second of their many cars. Obviously, there's a couple that aren't actually in the shop, so we're not going to be able to actually see those. But let's talk about this beautiful orange and black number 47. Well, he's coming back after, I don't know, how many years has it been, Mark?
I believe 97 is the last year he drove in
Holy
Cascar, so
moly.
that would make it a nice even 25 years since Sean's driven a car. So we'll see how it goes. He's excited to do it. So.
Well, let's talk about Sean and his sponsor, because it's really cool because his sponsor has a very big presence in this garage, as you can see. Brimstone Games, let's talk about them.
Brimstone Games, they're in Windsor. Also online, brimstonegames.com or .ca, I forget. I'll have to look that up. Anyways, they're online and they sell games, all kinds of different games. Card games, they're into sports cards, selling, and any collectors. They really do a good business with it. They do a lot of online business. Check them out if you're ever in Windsor.
Yeah, we definitely, and this is the thing too, is that what I have been able to do is you can go to their website and you can actually order stuff online, which is great too. Obviously, I'm a big pop vinyl guy, so they sell anything out there in that type of side. So if you're like Pokemon cards, or I don't know if they do all that stuff too.
Yes, they do.
There you go, Pokemon cards and tournaments,
Magic, Warhammer,
everything like under the sun.
D&D, you name it.
Yeah, it's really quite cool, and it's a great sponsor to have with racing too, because there's all sorts of like goodies that people would really like to have. So Brimstone Games fully on this 47 car, and they're also a contingency of the series this year.
Contingency of series are going to be sponsoring the Hard Charger Award in our series, so that's going to put some cash in the hands of the racers. That's good. I forget the exact wording on how it's going to work, but it's going to be most cars passed during the race. From best improving their starting position, I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, it's great to see some sort of initiatives with that. And let's talk about the history kind of the two cars that we've seen so far. So in terms of the previous car that we looked at, the 15, and then this car, which one is newer?
They're right about the same age, actually. Yeah, they're both almost 20-year-old chassis.
Wow.
Yeah. The 15 car was originally a Sean Dupy car. Sean had it originally. We bought it off Sean, so it's actually, if you count Mike Sr. as a driver, that's only 3 drivers that car has had. This car was originally a DJ Kennington car. Many different drivers drove it, one-offs here and there. It was one of his rental cars at one time. They both McCall chassis, and they've been around quite a while.
These cars, and just for people that maybe aren't aware with the Ontario Sportsman Series, how similar are these to a Pinty's car? Are they essentially the exact same thing, or is there some subtle differences?
Essentially, they're the same thing.
Essentially the same.
NASCAR has some slightly higher safety requirements on them. Tethers, fuel cells can't be fuel cell seats. They can only be so old. We allow a little bit older of stuff. Still, strict safety requirements in the OSS too. But NASCAR's just that one step that much. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. Different motors in them.
Okay.
Different motors, predominantly crate motors. All our cars have crate motors in them. So that's the main difference. There ain't that much 8-inch tire, 10-inch tire.
So if you did some modifications, this car, car could be in Pinty Series.
Yep. If somebody wants to foot a bill for about $20,000 to $25,000, we'll upgrade it to it, and we'll go Pinty's racing.
and vice versa. Could somebody come from Pinty Series and run the OSS?
With obviously a motor change. Pinty's motor wouldn't work in our series. Motor change, obviously around a smaller tire, smaller rim. But yeah, this car ran Pinty. This was a Pinty's car last year.
There you go.
Yep.
So racing is good, alive, and well in Ontario in terms of stock cars. I mean, we're really lucky to have this series, because now we're going to see some beautiful stock cars out on the track. We'll go and check out one more of their cars coming up soon. We're back with Mark, and Mark, we were talking about the other two cars previously and how they have histories, and it's also so cool to hear about the history of these cars. So we got this one here. It's in a little bit different shape than the other two. So let's talk about the history of this car.
Well, this car was originally built for Scott Lindsay. He won multiple Delaware championships with this car. and then eventually Jay Dewar owned the car, and it's got a couple of OSS championships with it. And then last year, after an unfortunate practice accident, it got reclipped in the front. So it's got a brand new Whitey clip in the front, who coincidentally, Whitey is now a sponsor, or contingency sponsor for the OSS. And he's going to be sponsoring the Pole Award, and also a couple other things we got worked in for Whitey too that we'll be announcing. So this car is available for renting. If anybody happens to have a 604 that they'd like to put in her and take her for a ride, it's close to ready if anybody's looking.
Yeah, what we also saw, what's really cool is that we talked about this with the other cars, is that renting is something that we saw last year, actually. This car actually had a Pinty Series driver in it.
Yeah, we had Alex Cadet in the car at Flamborough at the end of the season last year. Ran a very strong second with it. He actually said he had something for Todd, but he wasn't going to touch a teammate, but we'll just let Todd think he, pulled away from him like that. But, Mike Sr. jumped in the car last year, too, at Sawball and gave it a run, leading with 4 laps to go, and we lost brakes, and we actually had to park it because it's kind of hard to stop without brakes. So we had led a good majority of the race with this car, actually. Mike did. It was a really good run. So it's a fast piece. Just the way the plans worked out this year, it's not on the track right now, but, it's always available if somebody's looking.
Awesome. All right, so we're here with Michael Hryniuk, Jr., driver of the 15. Michael, what do you think about your chances for this year? Must be really good. He's got nothing to say. So one of the things that you guys have, obviously, at the race shop is you have long, hard days working on the cars. And, sometimes you just need that refreshing beverage. We could go for a Coke or we should go for some water, but really, Mark, what is it that you guys go with?
Well, when you got a sponsor that provides you with a great product, you always got to make sure the fridge is stocked with Landshark.
Oh, there we go.
So we got the seltzers and we got the regular Landshark, and of course water if you want water, I guess. And
perfect.
There we go.
Yes, we'll make sure that we support them
all the
all the way there. Well, we're back once again here at Hryniuk-Hall, and again, we talked about all the history on the walls here. And right above us, Mark, we've got this big race hood. Let's talk about this beautiful piece up on the wall.
Well, that came off one of Mike's cars in the 90s. Obviously, One Stop Auto was the sponsor, which is owned by Hryniuk-Hall. And that car ran at Delaware. That was after he was done with his STP sponsorship. One Stop had stepped up at that time to sponsor him. And that's where that hood come from. It's, made you hang around all these years.
And it's funny because it's kind of come full circle, because while they sponsored Mike back in the day, Maurizio and One Stop are coming back to the OSS this year.
And they're back as one of the presenting sponsors of the OSS this year. So, once you're a racer, you just can't get it out of your blood. It always keeps coming back.
It's absolutely true. And then we've got some really cool driver suits here, some historical driver suits here. I don't know how these would still fit now, but
Well, Michael Jr., as a joke for Darlington Throwback Weekend a couple years ago, got himself into the STP suit. We thought we were going to have to cut it off him because he's considerably bigger than the old man was. So it was quite hilarious. There's a picture out there somewhere. I can dig it up for a Throwback Thursday here.
There we go. Yeah. It's absolutely great. And then, of course, you've got your numbers of your race teams nicely put up on the wall. Hey, I remember that. I don't know who put that together. That was pretty. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know who designed that.
Pretty
car.
Cool rendering there, right?
Not bad at all.
And what's actually really cool about our podcast is that we were actually featured. Can't really see it here in this picture, but right behind that sign, we were on the front of Todd's car in Victory Lane. So that was really cool for us. But one of the most famous sponsorships in all of motorsports, and Mike had them for a considerable amount of time. Yeah,
when Mike had him as a sponsor in the mid-'90s, that STP stuff, that hood's obviously from back then still. And a lot of the stuff was coming, the decals, the paint, everything was coming out of Petty Enterprises. It was coming directly from STP to make sure color was right and everything, to get it all right for corporate. So there was a lot of connection to Petty back then for that stuff.
Wow, I love the history, and especially the connection to Richard Petty. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here at the Hryniuk-Hall shop, but we heard this story earlier, and I had to ask because it's a little weird that you're in a race shop and there's a stop sign posted up on the wall, which you'd think in a racing world you wouldn't want to stop. But Mark, what's the deal with the stop sign?
Well, that stop sign come from out in the prairies, coming back from race at Calgary, and I'm not sure if they were heading to a race in Saskatchewan or not, but they were out straight stretch of road in the prairies, and they come up close to the stop sign, and the hitch broke on Mangin's trailer. And Hryniuk was following them at the time, and they watched the trailer go through the ditch and ended up out in a farmer's field with the race car on it. So it took that stop sign out on the way, so they picked her up, and it's a souvenir, and they still have it to this day. So the farmer helped them get back on the road, and on to the next race they went with the new hitch that the farmer gave them. So yeah, that stop sign hangs up there. It's got a great story with it.
Excellent. Absolutely love it. Well, that wraps it up from here at Hryniuk-Hall Motorsports. We have the two guys themselves, Mike Hryniuk, Sr., and Mark Hall. Guys, thank you so much for having the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Graydon obviously would definitely want to be here. It's just didn't work out this time. But all the best of luck to both of you guys. Thank you guys for being such big supporters of ours. We absolutely love this team. We love everything about them, all their hard work. And we want to recognize them for all they do in racing and for all they've done to help us in our start, I guess, in the podcast world.
Go ahead, Mike. Yep.
Well, no, you know what? I appreciate everything you do for motorsports. It's awesome. You generate a lot of interest and a lot of stories, you know, so it's good for racing. Appreciate you guys coming down, spending time with us. We're looking for a good year this year, and we'll keep digging.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys at the track this year. This is awesome. Gives people a little bit of insight what goes on in shops, you know, like not all that interesting, but people like to see it, right? So, you know, good. You guys doing a good job. Keep it up.
Well, we definitely want to help race teams, and we definitely want to help you guys be able to continue to build your goals and build the race team. So thank you guys for tuning into the Stickers and Scuffs on location here in McGregor, Ontario at Hryniuk-Hall Motorsports. Give these guys a follow on social media. You guys won't be disappointed.